It is, after all, masks that make men cruel. I, of course, am quoting Jeremy Iron, quoting himself from Batman v Superman. It was a very meta moment, but it was an amazing moment. Welcome to Morning Reflections. I am your host, the Fat Mantis, and I can only describe Watchmen Season 1 as redonkulous. I cannot remember the last time I've had such a good time analyzing a show, theory crafting, or having fun with it. Now, not only am I going to review that final episode, I want us to go around the top 5 theories about possible themes or plot lines that might happen in future seasons. Now, let's get started. See how they fly. It was the final episode, and I would say, unfortunately, it was my least favorite episode out of all the episodes of the season. That's not to say that it wasn't good. I give it about an 80. Now, it is possible that I just don't like endings. I certainly wouldn't want that to be the last episode. It wrapped up a lot of things, but it left more questions. My taste buds are just ringing for more. I need more. And we're going to get into that in a second. But I will say that ultimately, the place where it was lacking the most, Lady True's final scheme, it was ultimately very pedestrian. For a show that is covered in the most clever twists and well-developed, thought-out concepts going on, it seemed that her plan, which was the same plan as a bunch of redneck Klansmen to simply steal the powers of the most powerful man on Earth, was just very lame. If you had been theory crafting or looking on the internet for all this time, you would have seen some of the greatest theories that people thought the millennial clock could do. Everything from hypnotizing the world to giving people greater empathy through mesmerism and all sorts of other concepts, through the high definition television scheme and all these other things, and none of it happened. She was simply going to absorb energy and start blowing people up. Even the way she killed the white supremacist was just very mundane. She just aimed some lasers and poof, they were gone. I thought there would be a little more poetry considering she's such an artistic woman. That being said, I really love the Dr. Manhattan twist with Sister Night, or should we call her Sister Manhattan, and with Ozymandias coming to save the day. It is interesting that he pulled that kind of out of left field, but it makes sense that the world's smartest man would figure out how to stop them. Another thing that I thought was lacking is I didn't care for the fact that the rain of frozen squids, in one moment they said that it would obliterate everything down there, and then all of our cast of characters, except for a few, were there, and none of them get hurt, aka they all had plot armor. I was expecting at least Red Scare or Pirate Jenny or someone or BN to buy it, but they didn't want to go there. They didn't want to do that. I mean, I know it could be the last episode, but who knows? But moving on, I would like to hit up the top 5 theories for what's going to happen next season. And I'm sure with as much fan support as it has, we are going to get our season 2. Now let's get into this. 1. The first scene of the show. In that opening scene, we get to see a tidbit of who Lady True's mother is, a Vietnamese cleaner refugee who once worked in Karnak during the original Squid events in 1985. She burglarizes Ozymandias. She states very clearly that she hates him, and then she injects his super smart semen into her so that she can ultimately bear his child. There is countless information we need to know about this woman. What would make her do that? What has she done in this entire time? What was her plan in the first place? She must have raised Lady True to be the way that she is, and there has to be more to that story. And the best part about this is we could get that because all of her memories and all her ideas are in BN. And BN, as we all know, the daughter, survived. It would be a perfect idea to go through her life and the flashbacks next season of who her mother is. It would be almost similar to what Sister Night went through with Hooded Justice. It would be, of course, it would be totally different. We get to visit Vietnam and all sorts of other things, and we might even see the Canadian and white Dr. Manhattan. It would be trippy, but a lot of fun. I really hope this is explored in future seasons. 2. Ozzy's great escape. So Ozzie escapes to save the day, only to wind up in police custody again. This plotline can open up doors, such as having Robert Redford, who I thought was supposed to be on this season, guest star and come into it. It can have to do with conspiracies. Will Robert Redford have his back? Will they go after each other? And also, will his visitation into prison wind him up in a masked prison, which might lead him to Night Owl?
3.
Night Owl. Everyone's been asking for him. Everyone's squirming for him. Everybody wants to see Dan Dryberg. And not only if they have a plot where Ozymandias sees him in prison, might enter him into this whole storyline. We can also do flashbacks to see exactly the event in 1995 that got him and Lori in prison in the first place, in trouble with the law. And as we all know, she was actually not acting as Silk Spectre. She was the comedienne, a female, gender-bent version of her father's gun-toting thing. I would love to see that flashback. I would love to see her shooting people up. I would love to see the costume and how that works out. It's a vehicle for a lot of funness, and plus, you can't have a Watchmen sequel without Night Owl himself. So would love to see that going into
4.
We have Lady True. Now, Lady True, we saw her get her stigmata. She got a ice squid right through the hand. That was barbaric, man. That was a great scene. I really liked it. However, the giant thing that was holding the energy of Dr. Manhattan came crashing down upon her, and we actually never saw her body. And as you know in comic books, no one is dead until you see the body. As a matter of fact, people often are still not dead, even if we see their body. But ultimately, we did not see her body, and I think that is a problem. Now, I think they did that for a very specific purpose. I think it's possible that she could be making a comeback, or not, but they want us to question whether it is, or perhaps there's something interesting about her body. Perhaps she absorbed some of Dr. Manhattan's energy. Maybe she did. Remember, the device landed right on top of her, which means she could have still been in during the absorption process. It's comic book logic, so we really ultimately won't know.
5.
And finally, number 5 is Sister Manhattan. Night Sister has now developed the powers of a god. Depending on how you want to interpret that last scene, either she got the powers instantly, or she's gonna get them slowly. But I believe that she will have them at some point. Maybe she has to learn to use them. Maybe they slowly develop in here. Who knows? They can go any direction with this. But I have always been sensing a Nubian god theme going on between her and her husband Cal, which could truly be explored. Say, if she has the powers of a god, perhaps the energy of Dr. Manhattan hasn't dissipated. As we all know, energy cannot be destroyed, which means his energy is out there. And if she has his powers, she might be able to access him, dream about him, maybe be able to have conversations with him, and ultimately have him come back. Furthermore, what will she do with that power? Is she gonna go all black power and just make everything woke? I'm not sure how you can do that with all the might. You can take down nuclear weapons, but you're not necessarily gonna be able to reprogram the thoughts and feelings of racists across America or the planet. But I would love to see her try. So much more to explore, but we all have to hope and pray and strive and fight for this show to make sure that more seasons come, because I believe there's a lot more stories to be told, and I want to have that anxiousness that I had all week long waiting for the next episode of Watchmen, and now I have to do it for months for the next season of Watchmen. Let's hope this can happen. Don't worry, I'm going to still keep making videos about Watchmen. We can talk about all sorts of theories, other ideas, and things we forgot to analyze during the season. I bet there's a million Easter eggs I missed. What have I missed? Please let me know in the comments. Till then, I want you all to have a Merry Christmas. Go with God, live the dream, like, share, and subscribe. Ciao for now, bitches.